Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Community Foundation for Northern Virginia's 2025 Grants webinar. We're going to begin with an introduction from our President and CEO, Renee Bing Yancey. Renee.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Sari, for the introduction. So delighted to be with you. I hope first and foremost that everyone is safe and warm following our recent snow event. And we know that so many people are not. And that's due to a variety of life circumstances. So we do not take for granted the work that you are on the front end leading and the services you're providing, covering such a range. And it's rewarding to see the good morning wishes and the well wishes popping up in the chat. We see you. We appreciate what you do to advance our community and our region. So we're welcoming you today with over 350 individuals registered, and that's not counting those who are maybe in a conference room or in a group room together. So we expect that there are even more than 350 in attendance. And this webinar is recorded, so you will have the opportunity for repeat viewing or sharing with a colleague. A couple of headlines that we are especially proud to share with you. The launch in 2024 of the successful Beyond the Grant program, where we were able to provide additional professional development resources on key topics that you told us were important to you around storytelling and development and fundraising and cutting above the noise. And we have an additional session soon to come on financials, and we know that's an important topic also. So please be on the lookout for that information. And then you may have also participated in one of the deep dive sessions with our Director of Insight Region, where we are highlighting major topics. This year, we're focusing on the health and safety of children and youth. So be on the lookout for the Shape of the Region conference that's upcoming in March. Your participation is heartily welcomed. And so without further ado, you know why we are here. We are launching our discretionary grants program. Once again, this is a proud part of our work under the stewardship and leadership of Sari Raskin and Jennifer Cochran, who will present in a moment. We look forward to continuing to expand the Community Foundation for Northern Virginia's role in investing and strengthening the organizations in Northern Virginia. And you are at the heart of that work as leaders within the nonprofit and direct services area. So with that, I want to turn it over. And again, just thank you, and we welcome you, and we're glad that you're with us today. Sari, over to you.
Great. Thank you, Renee. And good morning, everyone. And as Renee mentioned, we will be recording this session. It will be on our YouTube channel. It will be accessible on our website, and it will include all the slides and also the audio recording as well. And I also wanted to quickly mention there is an FAQs document on the website as well that will answer many questions that you may have that may not be answered today, but we are very much accessible and available to answer any questions after this webinar as well. And I'd like to just mention that Jennifer Cochran, as Renee mentioned, Jennifer Cochran is my partner in crime. We work really closely together, and this would not be possible without Jennifer's support and effort. And so Jennifer will be presenting later on in the webinar, but I just wanted to note that she is here, and we could not do this work without Jennifer as well. So anyways, welcome again to our webinar. We are excited to announce some of the things that we've done over the past year, and then also we're continuing to do into 2025. As most of you know, and for those of you who are new, welcome to the foundation. We look forward to getting to know you as well. Our vision is to build a Northern Virginia that works for everyone, and we are thrilled that more and more people are here to help us realize our vision and work in partnership with us. Our mission is to advance equity across Northern Virginia through philanthropy and community leadership. And community leadership we view as kind of a three-pronged stool three-legged stool. Our Insight Region data is very much part of that. Our grant making and scholarships is in another bucket, and then our events that we have as well. So again, research, grant making, events to educate and create awareness about the issues that are really important to our region, and that we can work in partnership once again to help solve problems and make a difference in our community. And our service area is Arlington, Fairfax, Loudoun, and Prince William counties, and then the cities of Alexandria, Fairfax, Falls Church, Manassas, and Manassas Park. So we have grown. We have grown in our discretionary grant making and our scholarships, and we have reached a milestone of over $100 million that's gone out the door. It's such an exciting moment for us here at the foundation. And again, there is not enough money to meet all the needs. We know that, but we are doing our best to continue to build our endowments so that there's forever funding available to solve problems and help our community. And two fun facts, which we're really excited to announce. Our Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Fund, endowed, has reached $1 million, and our Environment Fund has also reached $1 million. So again, and you will see that in the increase of funding that we are able to do even this year. But as the market continues to improve, we hope, and with additional donors that contribute to those funds, we will continue to increase those dollars that go out into community and also help us as the community foundation serve as a leader in many of the issues that we're trying to fund, also serve in other ways, innovative ways to start to help solve problems and really confront issues that are facing our region. So highlights, as Renee mentioned, we invested in some capacity building for our nonprofits. We know that our grant making is only part of the story. And so connecting with each of you and helping you think strategically about your organizations, helping you problem solve, and then offer you some help to build your own individual organizational capacity. That is part of those are our goals here at the Community Foundation. And so in 2024, we successfully had both a fundraising capacity building session with Seth Klukoff, and also we had a communications around a session around media relations and getting through the noise with Peter Petapinto. Both of those sessions were recorded and are on our website and are available to anyone if you'd like to view them, and I encourage you to do so. I am thrilled to announce that we are in 2025 going to be doing our third of three capacity building sessions. This one will be centered around our grant making, actually, in this process. We will be featuring, and I'll be telling a little bit more about this a little later, we will be featuring a financials session that will review the financials that are needed for this application, but will also be a session to ask your general questions that you may have around financials and what you should be submitting. So again, it's not only about our own grant making processes, it's also about helping you get better in approaching others for funding and also just having a better financial backbone within your organization. So if we can help you do that, that's part of our mission as well, helping you do better. And then we, as Renee mentioned, also we are offering through Insight Region, our data and research center, our deep dives. And we are focused this year around children, the health and safety of children in our region. The topics have been, or so far we gave actually Denise Bellows, our Insight Region Senior Director, gave a overview of the demographics of children in Northern Virginia. And then in January, we'll be doing one more before our big report comes out around the health and safety of children. But the next one is January 29th. And it will be at 12 o'clock. Again, we'll be giving you some more information about that. But the idea is that we're creating an opportunity to have deep dives, information around certain topic areas. And this year's topic is children and youth. And our shape of the region will be connected to that, as well as our data for the next year will also be focused on children, health and safety of children in our region. So quickly, an overview of this past year. We gave out a little over, as you can see, $800,000 to 49 nonprofits in this community investment space, which is our broad-based basic needs funding. And I'll be reviewing what those focus areas are that are similar to last year. And then we also were excited to continue to support arts organizations and different sized arts organizations with a tiered funding model based on budget size, as well as the Environment Fund. So those are two funds that we've been able, because of donors and our efforts, to think differently around our grant making and really give accessibility to organizations that historically have not applied because they didn't think they could compete with larger organizations. So again, there are opportunities for smaller organizations to be compared with one another, and then larger to be compared with one another. That way, there's really more opportunity for funding through the foundation. And then this year. So welcome to 2025. I'm thrilled to say that we are able to fund at a similar level than we have last year. We have a little more funding. We're increasing a bit within the Arts Fund. We have a little bit more money, which is great. We're up to 100,000. Last year. We were at 80. And then the Environment Fund is the same amount of 100,000, which is wonderful. And then, as you can see in those other areas, and again, I'll be reviewing each of the focus areas. Most of them have not changed, some have, and I'll be discussing that. But the idea is that each of those areas, the minimum grant we'll be giving is 15,000. And then in some areas, there are larger grants. 30,000 is the largest grant that we will be offering. Our goal over the long term is to do two things, is to offer even larger grants. So 15,000 shouldn't be our minimum over the long term. We will hopefully be increasing that. And then also potentially offering multi-year grants. And we are building our own capacity to be able to do that. And we are hoping that over the next few years, there'll be more opportunities for both multi-year grants and larger grants. We do always offer unrestricted grants. So there's no restrictions around what you're using it for, whether it's program or general operating. We understand the need for general operating grants in the community, and we are fully committed to that. So we will continue to do that as well. I'll just mention quickly, as you can see in child and youth development and education and safety net, it says multiple at 15,000. That is because there's money that comes in from donors leading up to the committee meeting that we have in March, and there could be those numbers could increase. So I didn't want to state exactly how many we're offering each of those areas, but just know that there will be multiple grants at a similar level that we've done historically. So 2025 criteria is similar to the past. Applicants must be 501c3s. Your grant request, as I mentioned earlier, can be for general operating, very unrestricted. And then we do not fund capital improvements, endowments, or scholarship awards. But we will, again, you understand our service area, and then we will accept one application per applicant. I will say that there are certain large organizations that sometimes don't realize that they've submitted two applications, let's say from the same organization. We pay attention to that, and we will reach out to you if we see more than one application from your organization. So just know that's something we pay attention to. We understand that organizations are large entities, and that sometimes the right hand isn't talking to the left hand. So we are definitely on top of that, but one application per applicant is what we will receive across all areas. So in other words, if you've submitted in an arts fund, we cannot accept an application in child and youth development. That's just the reality of our limited funding at this point. So thank you for understanding that, but one application per applicant. And then late and incomplete applications will not be considered. And we will be going over the dates in a few moments in the schedule. And we really hold to that. And we have a system that works really well, I think. And then Jennifer really keeps track of the applications that come in and the timeline, et cetera. So we appreciate the fact that you'll be handing in your applications on time, and we look forward to reviewing them. So let me go through each of the areas. As I mentioned, the Aging Fund, earlier I said it listed that we will be offering two grants of $20,000 each. We'll be, again, supporting, as we have in the past, organizations that help older adults age in place and that support specifically older adults who are low income or vulnerable. Child and youth development. So we are doing something a little different this year. This is an example of how we are trying to align our Insight region data with our grant making. And as I've mentioned, we are doing all these deep dives. We're doing Shape of the Region all around the health and safety of youth in our region. So this year, grant requests will be accepted from organizations that offer programs for elementary, middle, and/or high school, all those areas, focused on, again, the topics of the inside region data, creating safer physical and emotional spaces for youth, addressing anti-bullying efforts, and supporting substance abuse prevention. So again, very much in line with what we're trying to uncover and teach our community. And then our grant making will be a reflection of the work that we're doing deep dives around this year. Again, organizations with budget sizes of 150,000 to 4.5 million are eligible to apply. And again, I want to quickly say something about our budget size. We had made a couple decisions over the past few years about our grant making, both based on our research that Insight Region has done, from data and focus areas and issue areas, but also around looking at our grant making historically and helping us make some decisions based on the fact that we have limited funding. So we made a very conscious decision based on what we've received and what we have to grant out, to focus on organizations with these budget sizes. Knowing the number of applications that we're going to receive, we wanted to create more of a level playing field, as I mentioned earlier, around with organizations, but also just recognize that we can't fund everyone, and we don't unfortunately have the funding for startups, and we also at this point don't have the funding for large organizations. We hope that they're somewhat well funded. We understand everyone has funding needs, but at this point, this is where our limitations exist. So our Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Fund, this is, I think, our third year of this fund. I am very excited to say that, as I mentioned earlier, because we've reached that $1 million endowment mark, we have now been able to, this year we'll be able to fund 2 grants of 15,000. Last year was 1. And I'll just mention that we also made the decision to expand the criteria for this year because we have some additional dollars, and to recognize that we're learning about who else is in this space as well. So it's helpful to us to expand so we have more information, so we can be better informed about how to move forward with this fund and with our grant making. And to that, we made a decision to expand the criteria to include individual programs that benefit individuals with cognitive abilities gain access to basic needs. So originally it was around job training, but we've expanded it to organizations who are providing basic needs to organizations that are meeting the needs of people with cognitive disabilities. So please know that if you are an organization that's within the space, we look forward to learning about you and learning more about the issues that you are managing and that you're providing care for your clients. So we look forward to learning more and also engaging, by the way, engaging a new group of individuals as we expand the number of grants. Our committee members will be reviewing your applications and learning more about the issues also that are important to our community. Education fund. So the education fund is going to stay the same from 2020. It says it should say for 2025, but for 2025, again, application will be accepted from organizations that provide early childhood education to prepare children for elementary school, but also basic math and English literacy skills to prepare adults for certificate and job training programs. So this is learning again from Insight Region. We learned that there are many specifically focused training programs, but oftentimes individuals are not ready to enter those programs, and that they need the basic math and English literacy skills. So we are addressing that need by offering grants in that area. And again, we'll be doing that this year. That was a change from last year, and we'll be implementing it again this year. The Mental Health Fund. So as you all know, the Community Foundation is very, very committed to this issue of mental health. We'll be focusing actually on mental health also as part of Shape of the Region this year around the health and safety of children. We decided that for the Mental Health Fund, we will continue to move in the same direction we did last year, which is that we will fund organizations that are providing mental health services to children, young adults, and our families who are from lower income households. So similar to last year, again, we understand that mental health is a family issue, that children are part of a family. And so this mental health fund and the grants will be providing support to children, but recognizing that they are part of families, and we have to look at it very holistically. Military and personnel and their families fund. This is an endowed fund we've had for a long time. We are very proud of the military personnel and their families fund. And this year we'll be providing 2 grants of 20,000 each, again, in the areas of an emergency assistance or workforce development job training. So again, If it fits within either of those focus areas, we will look at that application and our committee will make a decision about 2 grants at $20,000 each. The Lamont Fund for Children and Youth. So similar to last year and past years, we have, again, an Endow Fund as well that's very specific around geographic area and also who it serves. So as usual, the Lamont Fund will promote the development and education of economically disadvantaged children and youth 0 to 18 in the city of Alexandria and in Fairfax County south and west of the city of Alexandria along the Route 1 corridor. Specifically, the Route 1 corridor, as you can see, it's a very broad, focused fund, anything from academic achievement, after school summer activities, basic needs, career readiness, very broad, as you can see by the list. But we will be giving preference once again in 2025 to organizations that are just thinking differently, thinking creatively. It's a larger grant, as you can see, 30,000. Thinking creatively about social and economic mobility of children and families along the Route 1 corridor. So again, we don't fund startups, but we definitely are interested in funding innovative programs. And so if you're thinking differently about how you are supporting the kids in the Route 1 corridor along the Route 1 corridor, please know that we want to support you and we'd love to see your application. Our safety net fund. So we are, once again, similar to last year, we're going to be offering larger grants for organizations that have budget sizes of 4.5 million or above, and multiple grants of 15,000 for that budget size that we've been talking about, between 150,000 and 4.5 million. And I'll just mention quickly, we are very fortunate. We have a group of financial experts who will be doing some pre-vetting. Our ultimate goal actually is to have a core of individuals who will review the financials that you submit and then basically pass on, once the financial pre-vetting has taken place, pass it on to the general committee that we do engage to make the final decisions. We are thrilled to say that the Safety Net Fund, last year we successfully did this. We had a group of financial experts who did some financial pre-vetting, and that we were able then to say to the committee, okay, now you are just reviewing these organizations, they've been approved, they've been vetted, they're sound financially. So please now look at the organizations. We know there are many of them, but look at them for their strength and the impact that they're having in the community and have a very meaningful discussion to make some decisions. That is our ultimate goal at this point, to do that for all of our areas. But we're thrilled to say that the Safety Net Fund process from last year was really great, and we're continuing to fine tune and improve that process. But we will be doing that again this year for the Safety Net Fund. So our last two funds are our Environment Fund and the Arts Fund. And as I mentioned, Environment Fund, we're thrilled to say that it's been where we reached that $100 million endowment amount. It's again a tiered funding process, and we do ask that the organizations with budgets above 100,000 must demonstrate that they are collaborating with or that they're engaging with a government entity. What we've learned is that programs or organizations that do partner with the government entities, those programs are more sustainable and stronger. And so that's why that criteria was placed in there. Again, we look forward to continuing to learn about how we engage in this issue area in general. So receiving your applications is helpful because we learn about issues, but we're also, and I mentioned this earlier, we're also thinking about what does it mean to be a community leader in different spaces. And the Environment Fund is one of those examples where over the long term, it's not only about funding, it's also about thinking creatively about how we can engage in partnerships around the environment and climate change, and just engage to figure out, okay, what should we be funding and how can we partner in ways that are meaningful that will really make change in our region. And then the last one is the Arts Fund. And again, $100,000 tiered funding model. We're thrilled again to support performing and visual arts. And we look forward to engaging both committees for the Environment Fund and the Ross Roberts Fund for the Arts that are issue area experts that have experience in both of these areas and who want to help us make decisions. We're so appreciative of the committee members that help us make these decisions. So I'm going to pass the baton on to Jennifer Cochran, who will run us through the actual process and the system that we use to accept your applications. Jennifer.
Thank you, Sari. Good morning, everyone. As Sari mentioned, to go over the grants process, the first step when we receive your application is the application goes through an internal staff screening. And what that means is we're just verifying that your application has all of the required responses, that your organization is in fact a 501c3. And additionally, we need to ensure that your application has been submitted in the right area and that it adheres to the budget constraints. As Sari mentioned earlier, some of the categories do have budget constraints. And if we receive an application that doesn't fit in that area, you'll hear from us pretty much right away so that you're aware of the status of your application. Then the applications that pass the staff review do go to committee review. And the committee review is a process that we've used for obviously many years, and the committees are made up of issue area experts, community leaders and donors, many of whom have had a long relationship with the Community Foundation and are involved in this process, invested in working with us to make sure that the applications go through a fair, unbiased evaluation. The review process happens online using the same tool that you submitted your application in. And then all of the applications go through to a final committee meeting, and the committee meets and determines which applications are moving forward to grant selection. One thing that we do offer, many of you are probably aware of this, but one thing that we do offer is after an application goes through the review cycle, and if your organization happens to not receive funding, we do offer a future opportunity to have a call with us to get feedback from the committee, and that might help your future application. And then here are some important links. This is a link to Foundant, which is the grant application system. Don't panic and think that you need to write down this URL right now. There are a couple of ways that you can get to this. On our website, cfnova.org, there is a link to the grant application portal, but also, as Sari mentioned, we will be sending out this presentation and making this available. But this is the URL for where you would apply in this grant cycle. And then the tool that we use, Foundant, does offer tutorials. So there's a link here on this slide to provide you with some tutorials about how to apply. So to go over the schedule for 2025, the application will open today by 5 p.m. and the application will be open for all three of the cycles that Sari mentioned: Community Investment Fund, Ross Roberts Fund for the Arts, and the Environment Fund. Those applications will be live by 5 p.m. today. And then the applications are live and open, available for you for the next 4 weeks. And the applications are due by 5 p.m. February 5th. One thing just to note is that February 1st, if you're an organization that received funding last year, we do require that your grant report be submitted to us by February 1st by 5 p.m. in order to submit an application for the following year for 2025. So after applications are received February 5th, we move into committee review, as I had mentioned, and that occurs February through March. In April, we make announcements about the grant awards, and then the following year in February 2026, the final grant reports will be due. And then turning it back over to Sari.
So before we go, I want to quickly just mention, and we'll do some Q&A right following this short announcement. So we're doing a financials Q&A capacity building session, as we discussed. The purpose of the session will be to clarify the financials documentation that's required for this grant application, but also we'll answer, as I mentioned earlier, general questions that you may have about financials, just to make sure that you're presenting your organization well to other funders and that you have more education around financials. Brian Crow, who is our strategic financial partner at the Community Foundation and a financial and accounting consultant of Crow Consulting Services, will be presenting at that session scheduled for January 15th at 3 p.m. You'll be receiving information about that as a follow-up to this presentation, so look out for that. And again, we're thrilled to offer our third of 3 capacity building sessions, the last one on financials. And then Insight Region, as I mentioned earlier, our deep dive. So we had our first one on December 19th, which was an overview of the demographics of children in our region. The next one will be January 29th at 12 o'clock. And again, this one will be featured around the health and safety of Northern Virginia youth. It will be a preview to the big report that's coming out at Shape of the Region. And again, the Shape of the Region conference is scheduled, mark your calendars, for Tuesday, March 25th at Vallow Park in Tysons. And again, the topic will be again around creating safe, supportive futures for Northern Virginia's youth, connected to our Insight Region data. And then we'll be following up also with other deep dives, actually following Shape of the Region this year as well. So we welcome you all to join us, and we hope that you're signed up for it as well. So now I'd like to open up for questions and answers.
All right. Hello, Sari. This is Tara Nadell chiming in. What I'm going to do is go through and read some of the questions that have been submitted through the Q&A. And if anyone has questions to add while we're going through this, please do. So the first question is, if you received an award in 2024, and are you still eligible to submit an application in 2025?
Yes, as Jennifer said, as long as you submit your follow-up report on time, we will review. Yes.
Thank you. There are a couple of questions here about area. If you're an organization that isn't based in Northern Virginia, but provides services to individuals who are from Northern Virginia, would they be eligible to apply? And there are a few questions around that, the brick and mortar location being outside the service area.
As long as you are providing services to individuals located within our service area, yes, you are eligible to apply.
Thank you. Based on the organizational size, if the organization is national, should the organizational budget be based on the work in Virginia?
Yes, it should be.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, there are a couple of questions here, again, for clarification on the one application rule. Does it apply across or to one fund? So, for example, can we apply for a grant from Environment and Safety Net or something like that?
Unfortunately, you can't at this point. Hopefully one day you will be able to, but right, one application for the entire process.
All right, some questions around specific criteria from some of the funds. Is the Child and Youth Development Fund limited to after school, or can nonprofits offering services during and beyond the school day apply?
I would look at the specific criteria. We've made a decision that after school is the focus area of time.
Okay, there's a question around providing historical data on how many applications that we are getting per grant awarded.
That is a good question. We are happy to provide a general assessment of the number of applications that we've received historically. I will just say that in those areas of child and youth development, education, and safety net, historically, those have been the largest number of applications that we have received, and it's varied in the other areas.
Thank you. Can you define emergency assistance in support of the military veteran community?
I think it's very broad, honestly. It's however you define emergency assistance.
Thank you. I see some questions are coming into the chat. I'm looking at the Q&A right now, so I'll go to those in a moment as well. Okay, do mental health applications have to focus specifically on children? We have clients of all ages receiving mental health services. So just clarification on that.
So I think the clarification, and I know I emphasized in my description children, but I would say for families, individuals or children within families, it's very broad. Again, we understand that mental health affects everyone, and so it's meant to be broad, but I wanted to just say that we recognize that a child is part of a family as well.
Thank you. There are some specific questions here around the fit for individual organizations to apply for one fund versus another. So I won't read the specific questions, but across the board, if someone has questions on where might be the best fit for their application, what should they do?
Yes, so this is where those office hours come into play, and we will be hosting office hours. And if you have a question about that, about fit and where potentially would be the best place for you to apply, please sign up for an office hours slot, and we will have a conversation with you.
Thank you. Okay, I see that there is a question that just popped into the chat that's looking like the one I see here about the aging category. Does the budget apply to aging category? Does it have to be within that range?
No, does not.
Aging does not have that requirement. Okay, so could we please get some additional information about how the 4.5 million is calculated? What is considered part of that bucket to determine if an organization is over or under the $4.5 million threshold?
I think it's based on whatever your budget size is. We're happy to talk about specifics. By the way, that financials conversation could also help you also on January 15th. So I encourage you to join us for specific questions around how budget size is determined and what you should submit.
Great. Scrolling through them, you mentioned general operating support is available. Would we apply under a specific funding stream and explain the work that we do in that area while making the request for general operating support?
I need some further clarification on that.
It sounds like, would it be helpful to describe a program? For example, if someone wants funding for a particular program, is that okay?
Thank you. Okay.
That's what,
What I tell all of our organizations that apply is that we have a group of individuals who are reviewing the applications that may not know anything about your organization. And so whatever information that you can include in your application that helps them understand the impact that you're having, that may be explaining a program, explaining we're applying for general operating, but these are some of our programs, or this is where the funding potentially will go, or what we're thinking about. However you frame it, it's about explaining where the funding will go so that the individuals who are reviewing have a clear understanding of how the funding will be utilized and the impact that it will have.
Great. There are a couple of questions on the safety net fund. A question to expand a little bit more on what is the criteria of the safety net. Someone wants clarification on whether organizations that provide food are going to be considered.
They are not. Unfortunately, we are not accepting applications that are food direct service relating to food distribution. And that is because we've historically had a challenging time distinguishing and making decisions about which food program to fund because they are all very similar and we have limited funds. So I encourage you, unfortunately, this is not a space for a food grant at this point, but there are, through emergency assistance, the other focus areas through emergency assistance would be the areas that we would fund. And I'm happy to have a conversation, a longer conversation about that. The other thing I was going to say is historically, we have made the decision to fund, and I know this is not going to meet all of your needs, but we've made a decision to fund the Capital Area Food Bank so that there is an investment in food in our region, but we know that that's not a solution for all of you. And I know you're all seeking funds to do your work. And so we understand that there's some tension there, but we are continuing to figure out kind of how we invest in this space so that with limited funds and knowing that there's so many issues and needs in our community.
Thank you. The portal for the application seems empty with the exception of my organization's profile. Is this an error or am I looking in the right place to access the prompt or document for the grant?
I can take that. So the applications will be live by 5 o'clock today. So you should see them at that point.
Thank you, Jennifer. Okay, can you clarify the extent of the required engagement of a government entity for applications to the Environment Fund? Is it approval via a letter of support, or does the government need to be actively involved in the program?
So it needs to be a letter of support. That there'll be an expectation that there's a letter included in the application. Exactly. So a letter demonstrating that you have a partner and that you are working with an entity.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. I am going through a few more. Is it important to have a regional impact? For example, if we work in one county, would it strengthen our application to partner with another organization in a neighboring county?
That's a great idea, actually. So I think, look, there are many organizations. I encourage you to look at the organizations that have been funded historically. I think committees look at these applications and they like organizations that are partnering and that are supporting multiple jurisdictions. That being said, we support organizations that are serving individual hyper local jurisdictions, and then we support organizations that are funding various jurisdictions within the region.
Great. Is there a preference for funding applicants with a more singular focus on the respective grant areas as opposed to multi-service, multi-program organizations?
So if you're talking about single focus areas, I would caution applicants, because if there are, I would identify which issue area you are going to focus your application on. I think that'll be easier for the committee to make a decision. If there are a variety, we know that there are organizations that support and provide multiple services, but I would, for this purpose of this grant process, would identify a key area that you want support for, and in your general operating request, you can state that, say, we offer a variety of services, but would focus this grant generally in this programming area or this issue area.
Great. There are a number of questions here specific to each of the criterias mentioned before. I would just encourage everyone, if you do have specific questions on how your organization's application fits within a criteria, to reach out during those office hours. Where do we sign up for the meeting on the 15th and or the office hours? Good follow on.
Great. So we will be following up with an email links with announcing again, that the application will be live at 5 o'clock, the deep dive information, the financials, Q&A session, and potentially, of course, the Shape of the Region registration. So you can sign up for Shape of the Region on March 25th.
Wonderful. One final question. We want to offer services in one of these areas, but have not had funding to do so. Are you willing to fund new projects, or do we already need to offer those services?
So I would say, if you are an organization that has offered other services and that your organization meets the criteria that we've listed, feel free to apply. I think committees will be excited about reading about a successful, impactful organization that's trying new things, and potentially we could be supporting an issue area that needs some funding, actually.
Wonderful. I know that questions are still coming in. As you continue to think of these questions, please feel free to reach out to us. The contact information for the team is on the screen here. And again, you will be receiving from us this recording and the copy of the slides. And we hope to see you all for financial clarification, the upcoming meeting on the 15th. Sari, any last comments from you?
No, we just look forward to receiving your applications. And again, Jennifer and I are available for a consultation. And again, once you receive the information, if you want to email us and ask us for a time slot, we'll send you a Sign Up Genius to fill out a time.
Great. Thank you all very much.
Great. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.